Hi there, and welcome back to another episode at Station Road. Now today I'm heading up to Whitby via Middlesbrough and currently waiting for my train at the York railway station. So I thought I'd start this journey here because this is going to span over a few days, which I will probably block into one video, which is of course going to cover the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. Now today I'm on the North Yorkshire Moors Railway, and I did a little bit of a stint yesterday as well, travelling up the line a bit further, but today I thought I would actually focus on Goathland, which is the first station up from Whitby. And as you can see in the background behind me is Goathland station, and directly behind the camera is Shortwee Tunnel, which leads through to where the depot is. So yesterday, of course, I had the pleasure of travelling in a train that was being pulled by Sir Nigel Gresley, the Class A4 locomotive, and that was extremely impressive. And then today, of course, getting off the train, I was able to take some really good footage of it leaving the station. So, as I mentioned, today is really a focus on Goathland and, of course, the depot area, which is just behind the camera through the tunnel. Now, for those who are familiar with the North Yorkshire Moors Railway, originally, of course, it was a horse-drawn railway, and so there's actually two tunnels, and the smaller horse-drawn tunnel is now, of course, a public path so that you can gain access through to the engine shed area. So we'll venture through the tunnel and go and have a look through into the engine shed area, and there are some hopes. I'm trying to find another particular locomotive. So for those who watched my short video at the National Railway Museum, where of course I disclosed my favourite steam locomotive, this time around it is to disclose my favourite diesel locomotive. Right, so the kind lads here at the engine sheds have let me in to have a look at, now we all know what is my favourite diesel locomotive, and of course it is the Class 25. Now some will ask, well, that's not possibly a particularly special locomotive, but what I do like about this locomotive is the fact that it was really my first proper diesel locomotive when I was a kid, in, of course, model form. So I think back in the 80s, I bought a Class 25 by Hornby in the BR Blue, and it was my first serious diesel locomotive. I now have 12 of these in my collection, both Hornby, Barkman, Halogen, and also the Sutton Locomotive Workshops Class 24, I believe it is, and of course that's a fabulous model locomotive. So the North Yorkshire Moors Railway have one here in their shed, and it's undergoing some repairs, and you'll notice that one of its windows has been wrapped up, and apparently it's got a crack in the screen, and of course that can't be allowed in operational conditions, so it has to be replaced, and of course it has to be custom made because getting hold of an original windscreen is quite tricky. So yeah, it is incredible to see this locomotive up close and personal, as with the 9F at the National Railway Museum, and yeah, what an extraordinary locomotive. So I've also been given permission to have a quick nosy around in one of the cabs. So we'll see if we can clamber up into one of these cabs and have a look in there as well. Right, so inside the cab of the Class 25. Now, for the last maybe 40 years, I've always wanted to look inside one of these cabs, and unfortunately of all the 12 locomotives I have at home, I'm far too big to fit in those. So the driver's console, one of the interesting things I noted, it's a wee hot plate here. So Is that for brewing a cup of tea? I'm not quite sure. But yeah, what an interesting sight to see. Now, you can't ask me what I know about diesel locomotives and how all of this stuff works. So, yeah. Next question. Right, so we're now looking at the Class 9F, and a very impressive sight to actually see a locomotive that actually operates. So unlike the Evening Star, I think might be a static display. This one, of course, is in operation, and apparently they're getting ready to fire the locomotive tonight and off for a test tomorrow and ready for weekend services. So it's quite an impressive sight to see this, and of course in its actual original black livery, because as we know the Evening Star was a special edition, I guess, or the last 9F made, and of course that was painted up in the BR green. So it's been a fantastic day here at Gromont, and I think it was actually worth splitting this into 2 days, so I could really spend several hours at Gromont exploring the station and of course the depot area where all the locomotives are, and with some very kind gentlemen at the depot, and a big thank you to Chris and Jacob, the opportunity to actually explore the engine shed area and to climb into the cab of a Class 25. So absolutely fantastic talking to the chaps there, and they're extremely helpful and very welcoming indeed. So it's certainly been an eventful few days up here in Whitby, and today I'm signing off out of Whitby and heading back to London, and then from London 1 night there, and then of course it's up to Milton Keynes. So really looking forward to getting up there and attending the Great Electric Train Show there in Milton Keynes. So I certainly hope you've enjoyed this episode of Station Road. It's certainly been a little bit jumbly, there's sort of bits and pieces here and there, but it's quite tricky trying to film on location in various places while also actually on the move. So the next time you'll see me, of course, will be at Milton Keynes. So do take care everyone, look after yourselves, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.